Welcome everyone to Automotive World. I'm your host, Vinay Mystery, and we are back, and we are back sooner than we expected because it turns out earlier this morning, and it looks like either not a lot of people know, and clearly Forbes tried to remove the article quickly, but there were some forums that were able to catch onto it. Forbes accidentally published their article early and released it. And so we're actually going to see what the new 4Runner looks like. So for those wondering, because if you're going around looking on people's live streams right now, whether it's TFL car and things, you know, you're going to go around, you're going to see people in the comments on Reddit talking about it. So we go to the Forbes article here, and they actually removed the article. This was 7 hours ago. They published it early. They removed the article, and it was by Sam here. And we can see obviously the article has been removed. However, if you look at the article, unfortunately on Opera, it doesn't show with the preview of the image on there, but I'll show you the screenshot of how I was able to see it on my Mac right now, and I'll put that as an overlay as I'm talking here. But when you go to that removed article, we come over here, we have an article from right here showing from AutoSpies, and then 4Runners with the actual deleted article here. So from AutoSpies, they were able to rip the images, and then, you know, we're able to now see this is the new 4Runner. And we have the new 4Runner here. You know, we have it in multiple different colors. This also confirmed too that, because, you know, we did see in that video earlier I posted today with the court, you know, at Toyota corporate, they were saying, you know, they really love like that blue color and all that. Obviously we saw that vehicle in the first teaser with the roll down window, but we also get to see it here as well in two different shades. And these are the what seems to be the official images from the 4Runner. And these were taken here from the article, and like I said, I'll show you that article, how it has the preview up there, but these are the articles from the Forbes list, and so these seem to be official pictures. If we go here, I also have them here as well. We have on our 4runners.com website, and I'll have all these links down below so you can look at them. We have, you know, there's a bunch of people able to not only cache the article, but they were able to just take pictures and copy paste it. And so we have the article here from senior contributor Sam, who we mentioned earlier here, who published the original article, which they removed it from. And we go on our website here. We have the exact same pictures, but we have, because they pre-released the article early, obviously, as, you know, for media, you know, for the media kits, they get request early access, and so we have a full article written here. So clearly, what this seems to be, these are the same pictures that are going around. Even too, like when we looked, if you looked in that earlier video when I did with the rear roll down window, we were able to see that knob that was on here in the picture. Here's that knob right here in that picture under the screen with no buttons. So that, unfortunately, like what we're looking at, this, you know, a lot of people are asking, is this thing real? Are these renders of it? These seem to be, these are the real pictures. These are legit, and this whole article is legit. The way that it's formatted, the way that it was written, even the way that they gave the credits at the end. This is legit here. Everything we saw in the pictures is matching up to this. So what we're gonna do though is we're gonna still go through this article, because just in case that there is, you know, some changes, what we're going to do is we're gonna go over this article with everything that we have, knowing that this is it, especially because Forbes did take down the article right away. However, people were able to copy it. We're gonna go through it, and then when we have the official release later tonight, we're gonna do videos on that, see if we can get anything off of that. But we do have Forbes here broke the embargo by accident because they were trying to pre-release the article, and they ended up publishing it. Unfortunately, enough people were able to get their hands on it, and luckily here I am able to get our hands on it. So let's get right into this. First of all, right here, all new 4Runner. This is copying the design of obviously the Tundra and the Tacoma. This is really more copying the design of the Sequoia. This looks like a baby Sequoia. Of course, obviously designs are subjective. I don't mind it. I think it looks good. I like it. I think it looks great. We have in our article here, obviously, you know, starting off, you know, from the lineup with the full-size truck. This is obviously going to be in the TNGA F architecture, so it's a very modular architecture. And obviously with that, like I said earlier in the other videos I mentioned with pricing, because this is going to be built off that architecture, just like, you know, other vehicles including Sequoia, Tacoma, Land Cruiser, Lexus GX and LX. It's a shared platform. It's super modular, a lot of capability, but the best thing is it brings down production. It can bring down production costs and it increases efficiency because you just have one platform. Really, really good to see that, especially because it is a legitimately good platform. Over here, obviously, we have some more pictures. We have some different colors here. That gray picture, like I said earlier, how we noticed it in the teaser last night, that was a different color there. We have it next to a Tacoma here. So size-wise, it's very similar. Obviously, the Tacoma is a little bit forward up, so it's offset in the picture. But very, very, very similar size as they are. Brand new interior, really nice interior, which we also saw this, in the other teaser that I just posted as well, that they posted today. We were able to see the door trim and things. Really, really nice looking. It's a really, really tight shot, so it actually makes it seem smaller than it is, but they're really just focusing on the materials and things. We have another front end picture here. This looks like, I don't really see any tow hooks or anything on there. Looking on the bottom there, I don't really see any tow hooks or anything. So it looks like this probably is going to be like a limited trim or something. I'm not really a fan of the grill. I think it looks kind of comical. It just looks like it shouldn't be there. I'm not really the biggest fan of that. We come down here. We'll go through the pictures first, then we're actually going to go through the information on the article, because a lot of it is what we kind of confirmed earlier. Here's that gray color again, and obviously we can see here with the wheels, this is a TRD Pro, so we do know that that gray color, that sand kind of clay color, is a TRD Pro model. One of the big things we want to focus on, as we did get to see last time, like when I zoomed in, we were able to see the circular knob here. This is the interior, and this completely matches up with exactly what we saw. This is that same huge screen, and let's look at this. This looks awesome right here. It's up to date. We have, one thing I love, we have physical buttons and knobs on the steering wheel. A lot of companies love to go and just do everything haptic, touchscreen. We have physical knobs on the steering wheel here. I really, really like that nice, solid, thick steering wheel. Really big screen. We got push button up there. That little knob looking thing, again, I can't really still tell what that is. It looks like some sort of knob, but it could be like a digital kind of clock or something. It looks like on here, unfortunately, these are, because these images were posted from other sites, they're not, the compression didn't really help it there, but we'll get to see these tonight. It looks like, though, we do have obviously some knobs here, which is really nice, and it actually looks like we not only have some physical buttons, but we have some auxiliary switches as well, which would make sense in this vehicle, as, the old one had a few as well, especially for, things like A-Track and all that. That's really, really good to see. Really, really good to see. And we can tell here too, like these buttons right here, like, because we can see the indents, like those are like for the seat warmers and the seat coolers and things. We can tell like those are physical buttons. That's not a touchscreen. That is not a touchscreen at all. So I really, really enjoy seeing that. Interior wise, this looks great. This looks like a modern interior. It looks really, really nice. We have that same new Toyota rotary shifter for the all-wheel drive system there, and we do have a nice, center console stick shifter there. I really like that. I'm always for either traditional stick or not center or a center, center console up here. I'm just not a fan of push button shifters. It's just a thing that I'm not a fan of. We also do have some more physical buttons here. Obviously that will be trim dependent. That also could be too for aftermarket mods as well. Some more auxiliary buttons and things. But this interior, really nice materials. That screen looks great. It's big. Looks like it's probably obviously running the current software that Toyota has on there. This looks really, really nice. The rear-facing seats look great. We've got power converter here, AC. What is that? 120 volt, 400 watt, 100 watt, and then we've got 2 USB-C, and then we have some rear aircon. We don't have any controls for it, but we do at least have some vents back there, so that is nice that they gave us that. And then that's all the pictures there. I mean, this is the new 4Runner right here, and I think it looks awesome. And then that gray color we can confirm is the TRD Pro. This matches up with the headlights on there. This is it. I mean, that looks like this is the article. So let's actually now get into the actual information instead of just the pictures, and let's get into this. But like I said too, we're gonna keep a disclaimer, because even though this is technically the article, we know this is the article, especially because they removed it. Things can, there's always things that can happen. So we're still gonna cover this at the end of the night at the official release, but let's get into this article and see what the pre-release article from Forbes was before they removed it. So obviously we started here, TNGAF platform, great platform to be on. Obviously, they talk about the heritage coming off 1983, being based off the Hilux and things like that. Really, really good to see that. We come to the interior here. Let's start getting into the juicy stuff. So right here, juicy information. This is what we talked about earlier. This was an in-betweener. We didn't really know if it was going to happen. We have numbers now, and we have really good things to hear. There's also going to be some cons too, because I did talk about in previous videos, but here we go. Previous 4Runners, they shared a lot with the mid-size pickup trucks, which they did engine-wise. So what does that mean here? We're going to have 2 powertrains. And when I mean 2 powertrains, we're going to have the same powertrains from Tacoma. So we're going to have the standard I-Force, 278 horsepower, and the same amount of torque. It's going to be the same amount of horsepower and torque as the regular I-Force engine. That torque number, they don't have it there. It's going to be the same as Tacoma. They might change it just tuning-wise, but it's going to be the same. Then we also have not only that, it's a regular 2.4-liter turbo, but we have the hybrid, the I-Force Max. 326 horsepower, 465 pound-feet of torque. That's the same as Tacoma. So we're getting I-Force Max on the 4Runner. And as we saw in the last video I posted just a few hours ago, it's an old 4Runner up to 5,000 pounds of towing. With the new I-Force Max, we're going to go from 5,000 to 6,000 pounds of towing. That's really, really good to see, especially because when the new Tacoma Toyota went down on towing, the fact that we're going to have the option to have the regular I-Force engine and I-Force Max, and it goes up 1,000 pounds, huge. This is a game changer. They don't mention though, if we're going like on the current Tacoma, like I showed earlier, the one that's 31.5, the SR trim, that one does have a detuned engine at 228 horsepower and about 243 pound-feet of torque. We don't know if we're going to get that. We are getting both engines from the Tacoma, both output versions of it. So I would assume probably on like maybe if they're going to go with a super cheap 4Runner trim, we'll probably get that detuned engine. But we don't necessarily have that information yet. Maybe we'll find that out tonight too. But we don't have that information yet. But as it's so closely, they're even saying it's so closely related to Tacoma. I would assume that detuned engine is going to happen. And then obviously up here, this is the limited trim here, as we can, see here. Really, really nice to see that on both. So we have here, in terms of coming back to our powertrain, we've got 8-speed automatic. That's going to be found, the same one in both the Tacoma and the Land Cruiser. Really, really nice transmission. We're going to get rear-wheel drive standard on the vehicle. But customers will have the option, depending on trim, of both part-time and full-time 4-wheel drive. That is something that is also found on current 4Runner, depending on which one you get. On like the limited ones, you can get a full-time 4-wheel drive system, versus on the other ones you can get part-time. And the full-time is really, really good if you live in, inclement weather, but you're maybe not going off-roading. But it's nice that way, you don't have to worry about crabbing and things like that and blowing up a transmission. Both of them are going to have the 2-speed transfer case, obviously, so, high-low, very simple there. We're going to have the active control, traction control, and I'm sure we'll have the, the usual, the A-track and things like that. We'll have an automatic limited slip differential, which can send torque to the wheels with most grip. Very simple. That's how their all-wheel drive systems work forever, and that's how most people's all-wheel drive system works, unless somebody's invented something different. So, very good, but, normal, useful information there, as we suspect. I don't think anybody was expecting a 4Runner to be a front-wheel drive vehicle. I don't know why you'd want that, but, I don't think nobody was expecting that. And then here, TRD Pro. So we talk about TRD Pro and Trailhunter. We're going to get new electronic rear differential. We're going to get, on the Platinum trim, we're going to get a locking center differential, optional on limited. And then on new to the 4Runner, we're going to have front stabilizer bar disconnect, which is going to be really, really nice. As they say there, you know, that's going to give you that improved articulation. It's going to give you, you know, especially on the front wheels, rough terrain. It's going to help you, you know, be able to flex those wheels a little bit more. It's, from what it sounds like, we're getting even more capability. The 4Runner's only getting better here. In terms of the wheelbase, this is a big thing here. Every vehicle has gone up in size. 4Runner, the wheelbase itself has grown by 2.4 inches, so almost 2.5 inches. The overall length has grown by 4.7 inches, so almost 5 inches. So this is going to be a bigger vehicle, and it's going to be a longer vehicle, which that longer overhang means, unfortunately, for approach and departure angles are slightly degraded versus the old one. The new 4Runner are at 32 degrees and 24 degrees respectively, compared to the 33 and 26 for the 5th gen version. However, you know, we come down here for the 4-wheel drive 5th gen. However, the nearly 20-inch shorter wheelbase compared to Tacoma should give 4Runner a big advantage in, you know, over the pickup and breakover departure angle, which is something that I've talked about, and let's be honest, that's one of the biggest reasons of the 4Runner. Tacoma is super capable, but I did talk about that in the last video as well. You know, not having that bed sticking out just gives you those better angles to get on. So this is, you know, for anybody who's also off-road enthusiast as well, if you go off-roading, this is nothing new to you. This isn't groundbreaking news necessarily. This is stuff you're accustomed to, but it's great to see that, you know, we have those numbers already. We also have here, you know, we're going to get multi-terrain, which is going to be awesome. Toyota's MTS system is really, really nice. That multi-terrain selected works really, really well. It's a legendary system. It's almost, I don't want to say industry standard, but it's a really, really good system. The modes are going to include mud, dirt, sand. You'll be able to adjust the parameters, thresholds, traction, things like that. We'll have our high-low range. We do get our crawl control, which is going to obviously manage our speed on rough surfaces. So that way, you know, you don't have to necessarily just keep tapping the brake or, you know, hitting the accelerator, which is really, really nice, which is stuff that we're accustomed to. This was all on the old 4Runner. There's no reason we don't expect it on this one. If anything, we just expect the better version. We come back to the interior here. So we have some design shares here, which we saw from Tacoma, both on exterior and interior, especially with Sequoia as well. You know, kind of bringing it back to the you know, earlier generations. Unfortunately, though, rear top is not removable, but the rear quarter windows do wrap into the roof, and the tailgate, that tailgate glass can already be lowered. We know that because we saw that in the teaser. That was really, really nice to see that. So thank you, Toyota, for keeping that, kind of coming back to the roots a little bit. We also have here, tailgate, we know it can be lowered. In the prior generations, you know, that can, they just talk about there being able to, you know, hold a surfboard and things like that. Really, really good. We come back down to that interior picture that we have down here. We do have it here labeled 2025 Toyota 4Runner. We don't necessarily have what trim this is going to be. I don't want to say that's going to be a limited trim because obviously this is a new generation, so even the base trim is going to look really, really nice, but we don't unfortunately have what trim this is. I was looking as well when I zoomed in. I was trying to see if I could see any sort of badging or anything that would indicate that, but obviously, you know, Toyota was, you know, they knew we were going to look at this, so they're going to keep it sneaky, which is okay. Save it for the official reveal, unfortunately, which this technically is. And then interior wise, we come back down. So we have standard, what we're sharing, that's pretty much almost like a copy and paste with Tacoma here. Standard 8-inch infotainment system, or the optional 14-inch display. That's going to be using the latest infotainment software, an upgrade over prior generations, wireless support for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so that's going to be really, really good. We're going to get a, you know, wireless charging as well, which is going to be available, as well as standard USB-C ports. So this is a big upgrade. No more wires are needed. We can wirelessly charge, and we can, you know, use Apple CarPlay, Android Auto wirelessly. I believe Toyota's is like a 7.5 watt or 10 watt charger. I don't know. I know with Tacoma they have that little Bluetooth speaker little system. I don't know if we'll get that with 4Runner, but that might be really interesting. Maybe we'll get that little pop-out speaker that they had. But we get USB-C here. We're going to get Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 driver assistant package. Obviously we're going to get things like blind spot monitoring, radar adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, roadside recognition, and then we have proactive driving assist. So obviously, just like with this is an all new redesign. We're getting a new powertrain, new body, new platform, new safety systems. It's just this vehicle is getting better overall. Rest in peace to V6 though. Gonna miss that engine. Really gonna miss it. We also have down here, so we have our Trail Hunter trims. We have the ARB Old Man Emu. We got some Ford shocks here, 2.5 inches, remote reservoirs on the rear axles, custom ARB roof rack, 33-inch Toyo open country tires. So really, really solid tires coming out of the factory. Proper all-terrain tires. Really, really good stuff here. We also do have 2 inches of added front ground clearance and a 1.5 inch on the rear. And that is going to be on the Trail Hunter trim. Obviously we expect that on TRD as well. It's going to have a lift from the factory, but we do know that Trail Hunter is also going to have lift as well. Really, really good, especially for overlanding and things, just to get over certain rocks and things like that. And also you're going to put stuff on, you're going to put weight on the top of this vehicle, so you want to try to have that lift from the factory. Really, really, really good to see that. We're going to have, obviously a ton of accessories, rock rails, skid plates on there. We're going to be able to have an integrated 20-inch LED light bar, 2400 watt inverter to power a gear that's going to be built into the vehicle. So really, really nice. We'll be able to power some camping gear and things. Not as, because this is the iForce Max, it is more than the older generation. However, it's not going to be compared to like Ford's hybrid systems and how, how much power you can get out of the bed of that vehicle. But we are getting more and more capability here. And what they are saying is apparently in this article, the 2025 4Runner is going to go on sale in fall 2024. If that's the case, what does this mean? Well, this means a few things. Obviously, if this article is correct, which I believe it is, just because we all know this was pretty much going to be the Tacoma but in an SUV. It's possible it can go on sale. The platform's already out. The standard engines are already out for Tacoma. Is it possible they can start shipping this within the next few months? Absolutely. Keep in mind though, and I talked about this in the other video before, Toyota has not released pricing on iForce Max engines for Tacoma. They haven't even added it to the limited trim yet, and we don't even have the TRD Pro trim out yet on the builder for it, as well as the Trail Hunter for that. So here's what's going to happen here. We clearly don't have any pricing. Maybe we'll get some tonight, but we clearly don't have any pricing right now. This statement here, I believe that's true. But I think we'll get the detuned version, and if there is a detuned version of that 2.4 liter turbo, and we'll get the regular version of that 2.4 liter turbo. We're not going to get the hybrid right away on sale, because it's not even out for Tacoma. So I do believe this statement is true, but to a degree. We're not going to get the hybrid models out yet. We're not going to get iForce Max models out yet. And we're not going to get Trail Hunter and TRD Pro models out yet until we see it on Tacoma. That's just how this is going to work. Which makes sense. Same platform, same powertrains, same engine, same companies, working with them. That just makes sense. There's no reason the 4Runner, Trail Hunter, and TRD Pro with iForce Max is going to come out first before the Tacoma, which has already been on sale for, it's almost going to be like half a year already. It's kind of insane to think about that. But that's what we're working with here. So I do believe that statement. I do believe that statement. I really do believe that this is going to come out in fall. This is going to come out within the next 2 to 3 months. They can easily start shipping this to dealers. But that iForce Max trim, the Trail Hunter trim, TRD Pro, we're not seeing that yet. We're not seeing that yet. It's not even out on Tacoma. It's just too soon. We don't even have pricing, or even forget about pricing. We don't even, on iForce Max, which is going to be on Trail Hunter and TRD, we don't even have the MPG figures yet. We don't even have EPA fuel economy ratings yet. So it's going to be a little while before Trail Hunter and TRD Pro come out. But we have a new 4Runner coming out, and man, it's coming out this year. It's not even coming out the end of this year. It's coming out soon, in fall. We're about to go into summer right now. I mean, this is insane. This is coming up, and this is really, really exciting. I will say, though, we know this is the limited trim right here. I really like how, like, I don't like the grill that's on there. I like how this one here, how it's, you know, spelled out Toyota and things. I really, really like that. I don't like this limited grill here. I don't really like that. And it looks like on this one here on TRD Pro, we have some stamping in the tailgate, which is common. Trucks do it all the time. I really like the whole stamping and all that. I like it. It looks really, really cool. But I mean, that is literally the article. That was Forbes' article. I don't think Forbes meant to break the embargo by accident, but I think they just did it. You know, obviously you want to be the first one. I think they just meant to accidentally, you know, pre-publish it and try to maybe schedule it. I don't think they necessarily accidentally meant to break the embargo, but thank you, Forbes, in a way, for breaking the embargo, because now we all get to see this early. And I'm still gonna make another video later tonight on this. I still want to see the official release because I want to see if anything changes. I don't expect anything to change because this is a legitimate article. We have the design here. You know, we can see differences even like in the curvature and the lines that we have. Like, this isn't like these are not just renders. You know what I mean? Like this picture right here, like right here, like we can tell like that's not just a render. That's a real picture, you know? This is very, very interesting for 4Runner. It's a great upgrade. It's really what we expected, though. It's not just related to Tacoma. It is the SUV version of Tacoma, which a lot of people really, really want. Like I said, there's benefits to the 4Runner. Not everybody needs the truck bed. If you use this off-road, Toyota even mentioned it, we've known this forever. Not having that truck bed overhanging just gives you those better approach and departure angles and the breakover angles in general, just because you don't have as much vehicle hanging out like that. We do know obviously the vehicle grew in size, which we kind of did expect. The vehicle got way more powerful, but we did lose that V6. But I mean, overall, I mean, this is a great upgrade. This is a really good upgrade. What this leaves, though, like I said, we have to wait for the trims when they're going to come out, especially those higher end trims. But this, I wonder what pricing is going to be, because this is pretty much the same stuff Tacoma has, even on their Trail Hunter TRD Pro. It's the same powertrain, same engine, same transmission, even as Land Cruiser. And we saw the pricing earlier. I showed in the other video. Even without iForce Max, we saw what the pricing is on Tacoma. I want to know. This is going to be, both of these vehicles are going to be very closely priced within each other, like a few thousand, if anything. But I want to know if we get pricing tonight. If we get pricing tonight, is it going to start at that? Because remember, we got the same powertrain, so we might get that detuned version. Like I said earlier, I don't expect Toyota to go down to 31.5. But I would love to see, because a lot of people just want a proper, like, when I say a proper, I mean, there's SUVs, all the SUVs are proper, but people want an SUV that's like a midsize, and they want a body on frame. A lot of people just don't want a unibody SUV, and I understand it. There's so many more advantages to a body on frame. Especially in the long term. But I want to know, how low is Toyota going to go on an entry-level trim? Because I would love to see Toyota do a really nice entry-level trim under 40 grand, close to the Tacoma, even if it's like that detuned one. Like I said, I don't expect it to be 30, 31.5, but like I mentioned earlier, even if it's like 35, 37, I would love to see an entry-level 4Runner for families that can just get buyers in the door. Just get them in the door with this vehicle. I would really, really love to see that. I would love to see a 31.5 trim. Honestly, if Toyota came out with a 4Runner and it was with the detuned engine, but it was 31.5 or 32, they would sell so many of them because so many people, like I said earlier, they buy 4Runners. They buy them thinking they're going to go off-road. No, especially not even the TRD. Like, people buy the TRD and Trail Hunter versions thinking they're going to go off-road, but just to make it look cool. But people buy the 4Runner, even base ones, thinking, excuse me, hey, we're gonna go off-road and change our lifestyle and things, but they don't. But they use it as a normal vehicle, and it's a very capable vehicle. Can haul a lot, tow a lot, you know, just extremely capable, really good size. I would love to see even a detuned 4Runner, just like the Tacoma on that SR. I would love to see one at like 31.5, 32, even 33, because let me tell you something. A lot of these crossover SUVs, these unibody SUVs nowadays, like, you know, Volkswagen Atlas and things like that, they're great SUVs, don't get me wrong. But let me tell you something. If you could get a body-on-frame Toyota 4Runner for like 31.5, 33, let me tell you something, Toyota. That would probably be one of your best-selling vehicles. You would sell so many of them. I would even potentially buy one. I don't even need a 4Runner, but that would actually be attainable and affordable for me. Like that. This has some cons because, like I said, when we talked about pricing earlier, we know how expensive Trail Hunter and TRD are going to be. We know how expensive iForce Max is going to be. But Toyota, with that base trim of Tacoma, you have the chance to make a really affordable 4Runner here. You have the chance to, like, I would love to see them do it, but at the same time, I know they don't want to cannibalize sales from Tacoma. They don't want to also cannibalize sales from Land Cruiser. But, man, Toyota, you can do it, and I'm telling you, if Toyota can do that, if they can make a really, they can do it. It's the same architecture. It's the same powertrain, same transmission, same interior, same technology, same infotainment system. All they literally did was pretty much cut the bed off. I'm not saying that's what it's going to be. But I'm just saying, Toyota, you have the chance to, like, you have the chance for this thing to be, honestly, more popular than, like, a Ford Maverick. I'm being dead serious right now. If Toyota could do that, I would take it with a detuned engine. Just a base trim just to get people an affordable car. I'm telling you, that if they did that at 31.5 or 33, that thing would be more popular than the Ford Maverick. Like, this thing would be sold out constantly. This thing then also would be subject to dealer markups, which I really hope dealers don't do it. I know they're going to do it, especially Toyota dealers, because they're some of the worst in the industry. Especially when I had to buy a car, they were some of the worst in the industry. That's why I didn't buy a Toyota, unfortunately. But this 4Runner, I mean, this is awesome. So the looks, like I said, are subjective. I'm not a big, I really like this. I like this. I like how the, you know, it's, you know, spelled out Toyota. I don't like the limited trim grille. Where is that one? I don't like that. And this has been something that's very common with 4Runner and Sequoia. I don't like this grille. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think that trim, the front, I think that looks ugly. Just my personal opinion. But I love the other ones. The exterior looks great. I love it. It looks it still looks very similar to the old 4Runner, especially like with the accent, you know, chrome accent and things like that here. You know, obviously you can see, you know, tow bar and thing, you know, hitch and things like that there. This is really, really cool to see. However, we still have to wait till tonight for the official release, but Forbes did allow us to get ahead by breaking the embargo. Obviously, with the official release, we're going to go over it. This is probably going to be a complete carryover, so everything that we covered here is going to be the same probably. However, if there are any differences for whatever reason, because this was pre-release, you know, Forbes could also come out with a revised article. We will get to see those differences tonight. However, I think just, you know, knowing this was the article and these are real pictures, I think this just kind of confirms what we're gonna see. So I'm gonna get to editing this video, everyone. We're gonna be back for the official unveiling tonight of 4Runner, but I guess kind of in a way thanks to Forbes for accidentally posting the article. And then if we're gonna go off of this and we'll get to see the differences. Like I said, we've all known this in the industry, that we knew this was pretty much just gonna be very closely related. In fact, just a little baby version of Tacoma, kind of without the bed essentially, or with a topper, as you can say, which is what it seems to be. But we'll get to see the differences tonight. If you're working in Toyota, if you're one of Toyota's PR contacts, or if you're in their marketing department, I'm really sorry this happened to you. I'm sure you guys probably were, you know, having this huge reveal, all the big big publications and things waiting. Really, you know, it sucks that this happened. I'm sorry that this happened. It kind of feels a little weird and kind of a little scummy for me to kind of do this, especially this early. Just because I can obviously, you know, we already knew, like, we can already tell, like, even with the pictures, like, we can see, like, how hard, obviously, this was worked on. So, you know, it sucks that happened. But it's, you know, it's great to see that. And we have, you know, just before we end too, you know, we have Toyota with other nameplates here. You know, they cross-shopped it. They looked at Pathfinder and Explorer. You know, we're going to get a larger third row too, which is really, really nice. We're going to have that third row option. This is going to be really, really cool to have. New 4Runner, man. New 4Runner, ladies and gentlemen. This thing is looking awesome. So I'm going to end this video here. This was going to be a long video because I just saw the article. But we're going to come back tonight. I'll have a more refined article. We'll have a more refined release. And we're going to be able to then officially confirm from Toyota if this is the case, which more than likely is. So thanks for watching, everyone. We will be back. You can see it's 6 o'clock right now. We'll be back in about 4 hours. And can't wait to see you guys at the official release. But thanks, Forbes, for breaking it. See you guys soon.